You ever just open the internet and you just hear bang? And you're like, did I just watch somebody get shot? And you did.
Bolivia, land the Incas once ruled.
What did you do there?
Covered the cocaine trail.
They prepare for jungle warfare.
Were you scared?
You know what? No.
From these leaves, cocaine is born.
I was more exhausted because we were climbing up mountains to go to watch the ladies picking the coca leaves. I flew on choppers.
The lab secured, we take back off for the relative safety of the base camp.
With the guns out, just out of the choppers.
Did they let you shoot the gun?
No.
The machine guns are loaded and ready.
The army was worried about the police in these cocaine towns because they were dirty. We flew low. We would land at a lab. We would set charges. And within 2 minutes, we had to be out.
You would set charges? Like
to blow the place up.
You did?
I didn't do it.
Who did?
I was with the DEA and the Peruvian military.
And you watched them? What's that look like, the setting of a charge? Is it like in a movie where they toss one to the guy and he goes, shoot, it's there?
It was great. The traficantes would start coming toward us. If we didn't get out of there, we were going to be in a war. I still have a machete that I got from a DEA agent who took it off a dead trafficking guy.
Before, youth were involved in sports. Now they're involved in cocaine and its derivatives.
Hello, my name is Sam Figman, and welcome to the I Don't Understand Show, a show where I don't understand things and my guest tries to help me understand them. We'll see if it works out. Sometimes it doesn't, and usually it doesn't. But this time it probably will.
I'm here to help.
I'm so excited to have my guest here, Wayne Dolcefino, multi-Emmy winner, Jimmy Hoffa. What happened there?
Breaking news, the mob killed Jimmy Hoffa.
Yeah, why was it a mystery forever? Duh.
It's not a mystery to me.
And they're like, what happened? The Mafia killed him. The most famous thing they do. They're like, what'd they do with the body? Got rid of it.
They didn't leave it like out in the open on the street.
But why the whole thing of like, what happened to Jimmy Hoffa?
Media stuff, yeah.
If it bleeds, it leads.
Oh, yeah.
Is that true?
Oh, yeah.
Quo bono, who benefits? Do you ever say that?
Iranians would?
Quo bono. Quo bono.
I don't say
Q bono. What is the phrase?
I hope that the message that any funny business going on should stop.
Wayne Dolcefino has been an investigative reporter in Houston for 40 years.
It's going to be almost 50 years.
You've won Emmys. You've won 5 Charles Green Awards. You won an Edward R. Murrow Award. Probably multiple of those. Do you think you could beat Edward R. Murrow in a fight?
Oh, I could do that.
And I know how I do it. I grab him by the suspenders and lift him up and toss him down and say, have Fred Friendly clean you up.
The sex businesses in Houston were owned by the Greeks, right? But the Cartel crime family came down, and I did surveillance and got plates, right? And I had a secret source, and they were Chicago guys who had records. They were all part of the Cartel crime family. The guy that was helping me, he was supposed to be in court, and I went to the court, and I was waiting for him to show up, and he didn't show up, and then they announced that he had been found dead in a car on I-10 between San Antonio
Who
and
announced
Houston.
it?
The judge.
Like at a stadium? Ladies and
gentlemen,
Found.
your source is dead.
found dead in a trunk.
Yeah, but that was kind of a pretty good.
Has a Mafia man ever come to you and been like, cut it out, Wayne?
So when my dad was alive and I was getting just the Carter crime family stuff, my dad was very good friends with the Gambinos. He went to school with the brother.
Mafia school.
There was a restaurant in New York called Casa Storta, which was a Gambino crime family restaurant. And we used to go there. It was a great restaurant. But anyway, my dad never said anything. He always said he wanted me on TV. I was in radio. He told me that he could call the Gambinos if the Accardo crime family was given.
And what would have happened with that phone call?
I don't know, but my father had connections.
How many mothers would be burying their sons after that phone call?
As many as we need to.
Those Italian moms. What's going on at those funerals?
No, look, it's
God, that's like old stuff.
They don't cry anymore that much?
Who?
The Italian moms at funerals? They don't throw themselves in the water
I
anymore?
don't know.
Wayne Dolcefino was born on the nice streets of Brooklyn, but after he was born, they became the mean streets of Brooklyn.
Tough neighborhood.
Wayne, you grew up in Brooklyn. Was that tough?
I lived in an Italian Jewish neighborhood.
Both at the same time?
Yeah, a lot of the Italians and
How loud was that neighborhood?
it was very loud.
Who's more dramatic, the Jews or the Italians?
The Italian.
Really? Oh, wow.
You think the Jews are more dramatic?
In my experience, they're the most dramatic mom I ever had.
I like the Jewish people. I learned how to say the F word like when I was like 4. It was Flatbush. But right across, so East 66th Street was the divider between the Italians and the Puerto Ricans.
Oh, West Side Story.
It literally was, in the sense that if we played stickball, I forget the name of the street, Gaylord maybe, but if we played stickball and someone hit a home run on East 66th Street and it went to the other side, that ball was gone.
Are you telling me right now on camera that you kids in Brooklyn actually played stickball? That's true?
I actually played stickball.
What was the deal there? You had a stick and a ball?
There you go, baby.
How big of a stick? Like from a tree?
I would say about 3 foot, and I'm not sure where it came from. They used to have these little pink bowls. They were called Spalding bowls. Actually, my best memories was at my aunt's house. Every Sunday we'd go for, gravy, pasta.
Now, when you say gravy.
No, it was gravy. And when my family ate dinner, it was like 5 hours.
What are we talking here? Just a full table?
Walnuts, the brajol, the beef.
Keep naming Italian foods.
Yeah, he's right. The pasta,
Say the cheese one.
the veal.
What's the cheese? Mozzarella.
Yo, mozzarella.
Mozzarella.
Yeah.
Everyone has their own take on it.
No. People down here call it mozzarella. It's mozzarella.
Mozzarella.
Yeah.
No, you don't have to do this. It's just mozzarella.
I didn't even try. It just happened.
You know, in New York, you get that mozzarella that's like dripping
Yes.
with milk.
Yeah. What is that milk? Goat milk?
I don't even know this. I came down here in '68. There was the pizzeria right by my house in Flatbush. Is Antonio's Flying Pizza on Hillcroft near was.
I grew up there going there and they give you the dough. At the end they give you some dough and you play with it.
When you were a kid, they would give you dough.
They gave me dough.
Throw the pizza across the restaurant. Not anymore.
They get sued for that.
No, I don't think so.
I sued them. I said, you threw a pizza at me? I said, I was an 8-year-old. I said, you throw this dough in my face, Antonio? I sue your ass.
Were you hit?
I was hit in the face. Wayne has been sued over 500,000 times.
Yes.
Wayne,
I'm being sued now.
has there ever been a time you were sued where you're like, yeah, I probably deserve that?
Nope.
Good.
No, there isn't one I regret. Hello? I used to do it really good, but I used to do a Jerry Lewis impression in high school. And that's why they told me to go to journalism school.
What am I gonna get myself in trouble,
Hello? I used to do Jerry Lewis.
That was the start of your... So
That was what Jerry Lewis is responsible for my entire career.
Well, don't get mad, because I was just gonna say that I'm nervous.
what led you to like investigating?
I was working at the Capitol in Austin, and I befriended all the guys, the challenged guys, medically and mentally challenged guys that worked there and cleaned it up. I used to work the early mornings, so I became friends with all those guys.
Are you like a janitor? What, you like Goodwill Hunting? What are you talking about?
No, and the press office was in the Capitol.
Who are you friends with?
I was friends with challenged people. While I was working one morning, they came in and told me, because I was like the only reporter there at 4 a.m. doing fishing news, and they told me that there had been a raid of a senator's office. His name was Gene Jones. And I got the exclusive because I was the only one there.
You're smart. Explain the phrase to me. I don't understand this phrase. Don't let the cat out of the bag. What? I'm supposed to keep the cat in the bag? That's bad for the cat.
Yes, I don't like it.
The cat's gonna die?
Screw the cat.
Don't let the cat out of the bag.
Bags.
Don't let the cat out of the bag? Why is the cat in the bag? First of all, why is the cat in the bag?
Boy, this is a very important question.
It's scary. Why did a cat get in a bag and I'm not supposed to let him out? I'm the bad guy if I let it out? Let the cat.
It's kind of sad that my career has brought me to this juncture. Yeah, I've been punched, I've been shot out.
How many times have you been punched in the face?
In the face?
In the face.
Twice.
What's it feel like to be punched in the face? I don't want it to ever happen to me.
Not fun.
My face is too precious.
Not fun.
Wayne, how many times have you been arrested? Do you want to talk about that?
Oh yeah, I've been arrested multiple times. I was arrested once for trespassing in Austin County. We were at a place where you couldn't see the house from the electronic gate.
Yeah.
And so after staying out there for 20 minutes, we said, hey, let's go see if let's try the pad.
Yeah.
And so we hit 1111,
Yeah.
and the damn gate opened.
He's one of Houston's most well-known journalists and investigators, exposing cases of injustice and abuse of power across Houston.
But tonight, Wayne Dolcefino has another title, inmate at the Harris County Jail.
Was in the cell with an accused murderer. It was great.
Did you become friends with him?
Well, we don't hang out anymore, but he was cool. When I was arrested for contempt, his video of it.
Well, according to sources, Dolcefino went to the judge's courtroom today.
When I was arrested for contempt by that jerk judge.
Was that bullshit? You want to call that judge out now?
Total bullshit.
Obviously, that conversation didn't go well.
Judge is so full of shit.
What is contempt? He's like, you're too rude to me in my office?
Contempt is really an abuse of power, what it was, right? Because I only wanted to ask him questions.
According to court documents, Dolcefino went up to the judge as he sat on the bench and demanded to interview him. Told 3 times to either have a seat or leave, the judge finally threatened to have him arrested, to which Dolcefino allegedly replied, quote, "Do what you have to do."
And he threw me in jail. So I go to jail, right? And it was during COVID.
So you were in overnight?
Oh, yeah.
You've been in jail overnights?
Yeah.
He made comments that he's not going to be able to stop drinking rum. He says he has a vacation house in Georgia or Florida that he's not going to give up.
What's that night? What are the nights like?
The bed sucks. There was no pillow. I think there is a real interesting question, especially about people that do nonviolent things, as to whether or not jail makes it right.
Would you be a police officer? Have you ever thought about just being a police officer and then
Don't make enough money.
they don't?
No, I don't think so.
We arm them like RoboCop. Why do they got all their money on their chest? Huh?
But they deal with people who will try to kill them, throw Molotov cocktails at them.
That sounds delicious. The reviews are in for Housekeeper the movie. They're calling it a sweeping success.
Okay. I've never seen that movie.
Marvin Zindler, Eyewitness News.
Marvin Zindler, let's talk about him.
Loved him.
The past you can never forget.
We shared like an office suite. He was a consumer guy, I was a public corruption guy. We got along really well. He didn't like me at first. I did an investigation once when I got there fairly early on. He came to me and he said, "I did that investigation 10 years ago." And I said, "Well, obviously you didn't fix it, Marvin, because I had to come back and do it again." I heard Marvin yell profanity every single day. "You fucking this and fucking that."
He would yell at the people who put the slime in the ice machine.
Slime in the ice machine.
The worst thing you could do when Marvin did a story on you is to complain. Because Marvin would call you up and chew your shit in a way that I've never seen since then. Marvin was the guy that actually worked on a story the night he died. They don't make those kind of people anymore. They really don't. Marvin Zindler really gave a shit about poor people.
Is that what you would say was his great strength? He gave a shit about poor people.
He gave a shit about people that had no fight. And let me tell you something. I got a lot of my thing from Marvin because Marvin taught me that I could take a case involving some poor little old lady in the 3rd Ward and go against a man. And that was Marvin. I think Channel 13 had that gravitas. People who watched Channel 13 back then, they know. It was a gravitas. 20% of the audience watched TV in the 80s and 90s. They watched local TV news. So on a Sunday night, we'd have like Super Bowl numbers. We worked together great. We both put up with the Disney bullshit. No offense to my former employers. They do good amusement parks, but they suck at news.
Marvin Zindler, his hair, was that big white hair, was that real? What was that?
No, that was a wig.
Were his eyes also big and blue?
See, Marvin made a career toward the end of going to Sam Fickman Auto, and saying, "Fickman Auto, you screwed this person around." And they would say, "We are so sorry, here's a new car," or "Here's your free bumper," right? And then Marvin would say something nice about you at the end. The only thing difference between Marvin and me is I never felt the need to thank someone for doing the right thing. And let's say they say, "I'm sorry." I don't remember anyone ever saying that, right? But let's say they said it. It was too bad.
Yeah.
You're not stupid, you're corrupt. There's a difference, right? A lot of
I could accidentally do something. What if I am dumb enough? Do you ever, like, a guy like me? Uh-oh, I don't understand insurance.
I think that's a pretty reasonable defense.
Have you ever investigated somebody that you found was so dumb that you're like, never mind, they just don't know what they're doing?
Constable, she's still around. May Walker. She just retired.
Should we beep that name?
May Walker was not indicted by a grand jury.
I'm gonna beep that name.
No, it's true. Was not indicted by the grand jury because the grand jury thought she was too stupid to do it intentionally.
Based on that, I could get away with everything. I would never.
You don't understand.
He didn't understand. If I was wearing the hat.
That's right.
So if I was just wearing this hat on a crime spree, you think I could get away with it?
Yes.
Have you had a story killed?
I've had stories that were screwed up by the lawyers at Disney.
So you used to work for Disney.
I worked for ABC, and then ABC got with Disney, and that's when it changed.
They were like, whoa, what are you saying on here?
The Disney lawyers came from New York, but there's different kinds of New Yorkers, right? There's like tough guys, and then there's freak shows like you, okay? I got to the point with them where we could not agree on like the color of the sky. So it really fell apart, and you can ask me anything, but it fell apart when I did a story in Kima, and I interviewed the building inspector who made a comment to me about how he hears no evil, sees no evil, when I asked him why he didn't pay attention to this stuff. Well, that's what Sergeant Schultz said on Hogan's Heroes.
Nothing, I see nothing, I see
nothing, I hear nothing. So I said how cool it would be to put that in the video. So I called him the Nazi prison guard Sergeant Schultz. And the head lawyer from Disney, the head guy, calls me and says, you can't call Sergeant Schultz a Nazi.
He's the very definition of one.
Okay. One of the lawyers read on Wikipedia, which we all know. Sure. Wikipedia once said I Asian babies.
Oh, is that okay? So we'll dissuade anyone of that notion here now. He'll say that never happened.
No, right, and never been convicted.
Wait, is this why you don't have a Wikipedia because it's been taken over by scoundrels online? You have so many. He doesn't. No, he doesn't. Let's get Wayne Dolcefino on Wikipedia.
I have a Wikipedia.
Yes, friends, I'm calling upon you, you tech wizards from all corners of the internet. Come together and let's build Wayne Dolcefino a Wikipedia that is inclusive. It's a place where we could be nice to each other. So if you're hearing this message and you know how to do a Wikipedia, let's make Wayne a Wikipedia. Hashtag Wayne's Wikipedia.
So we argued about that story for 3 weeks. It was supposed to air.
Yeah.
I refused to take it out. I said, well, first of all, Sergeant Schultz isn't a real person.
There's that. And he is a Nazi.
And he is a Nazi, which was the bottom line. And the guy who played him was already dead. So I said, who's going to sue me exactly? Is Sergeant Schultz going to file a lawsuit against me for calling him a Nazi? And literally, they refused to approve the story.
Yeah.
For 3 weeks, I refused to take it out.
Did you ever hear about the guy who played Hogan in that show?
The what?
The guy who played Hogan in Hogan's Heroes?
Yeah, what about it? I love it.
Legendary porn collector. Bob Crane, shout out.
What was his name?
Bob Crane. Yeah.
I used to love that show.
Bob Crane was murdered in a weird way.
I know he was murdered, but I wasn't really familiar with it.
He was killed with a tripod. We have a few of those on set right now. The very murder weapon that killed Bob Crane.
Was it a tripod?
It was a tripod that killed him. Because it was his friend who used to film stuff with him. Beaten to death with a tripod.
Wow.
And then, yeah.
That's going to happen to me, I feel.
Watch out. Guess what? This is a jinx scenario where we're catching you in the murder of Bob Crane.
Yeah, there are like three tripods here, right?
It's actually very scary because that could be a weapon. Anything could be a weapon. You just don't want it to be.
I know.
Yeah, weird ending for him. But yeah, good, funny show. And they were Nazis. There's a lot of things I just don't understand. That's sort of the premise of this podcast. What's this business about Pontius Pilate washing his hands like he felt bad?
I think he may have.
Pontius Pilate was pressured into it by the Jews. The Jews are gonna convince a Roman general to do a thing. Like, how weak is this Roman general that he's, or whatever he was, the mayor of that little area? Like, why couldn't Pontius Pilate say, no, band of Jews, I'm not gonna crucify this guy? Oh, right, the law, they were able to trade for Barabbas. So Pontius Pilate, his little hands, his little dirty hands were tied, right, yeah. So it's okay for Pontius Pilate to say he was just following the law, but when the Jews do it because this guy's, starting a cult, doing illegal witchcraft maybe, bringing back Lazarus. Who told him to bring back Lazarus? I don't want to even hear about Barabbas.
I'm not a practicing Jew.
No. It's some things just don't become practical anymore.
I'm a Lutheran because Martin Luther was a troublemaker.
Martin Lutheran King?
Martin, not that guy.
What happens after we die?
I do think we come back in other lives.
So do you think you've had another life before?
I do.
What do you think it was? What time period?
Mafia.
Cult leader David Koresh shows no signs of surrendering to federal agents. Let's begin with Wayne Dolcefino standing by live near the compound in Waco. Wayne.
I was driving back from Austin after a party weekend, and I was called, and they said, "Where are you?" And I said, "I'm in Austin." They said, "Go to Waco." I stayed there the entire time until the night before. I have so many good Waco stories.
Plain and simply, it is a waiting game here.
We were getting food delivered there.
All kinds. What was the best thing you ate in Waco?
We had pizza delivery, Chinese food delivery.
Nice.
We had Italian pizza, right?
Most of the folks who live around this cult say they're quiet neighbors.
We had Winnebagos with like flamingos outside because we were there so long.
In your memory, Waco was like summer camp?
It was party.
As I said, simply a waiting game, and it's approaching nightfall.
Because at night, we would drink margaritas and listen to the guy play guitar. And the FBI...
David Koresh?
Yeah, David Koresh.
Was he good?
Yeah. And the FBI would fly helicopters around and play chicken slaughter noises, trying to freak them out inside. And he would play electric guitar. And we would sit out in our lawn chairs that we bought. First thing we bought was tequila.
Yes.
But we bought lawn chairs, and we would sit out there every night. And because after a week or two, the media coverage was not very much. So we only did little sound bite kind of things, or we were barely on. So all we did was just watch the exit where the kids were coming out.
Yeah.
And listen to the guitars and the thing at night. Because we were all at the point saying, this dude ain't coming out. This is bullshit. He's not ever coming out. And nothing's going to happen, right? We'd been there 2 months.
Yeah.
We even had ordered a pool, for all the Xenia people so we could swim.
No activity, Dave and Shara, in the last hour or so, other than law enforcement vehicles passing back and forth. A couple of more passing around a back road that leads into the compound, which is, as you can see, about a mile or so behind us.
So we had ABC stations and CBS stations.
Labels by y'all or by?
The people there, we had sort of a commune of...
How long were you there?
2 months. Yeah, we were living there.
But the man who holds the trump card tonight is David Koresh, this 9th grade dropout who thinks he is the second coming of Christ. He clearly has the choice of ending this thing peacefully or in a blaze of bullets.
We were setting up flamingos and chairs. We wrote songs during the day. We hung out. There was nothing else to do. We made pasta at night. We drank margaritas at night.
And then you would report at some point? Oh, by the way, some gunfire just happened with the psycho in that house.
There was some sporadic gunfire this afternoon.
The reporters that had been there a long time, and I'd been there the longest, but the reporters that had been there at the long time said to the feds, give us the guns, we'll kill them. Because we were tired of being there.
But he was playing good music.
I get it, but it was over. Now, we did bribe federal law enforcement officers with hats and other ABC paraphernalia to bring women in.
To bring women in?
Yeah. There was an all-nude bar very close to the compound called Sunny Teas. And 90% of the people that were reporters there were guys. So we'd all start to hang out there. In fact, we actually had a party in the springtime bringing in women from this place.
Bringing in women. You keep saying that phrase.
It does sound a little bit like trafficking.
Bringing them in.
Yeah, but it wasn't from Thailand. Okay, so there were federal law enforcement officers that had blockades.
Behind us, Debbie, of course, is the roadblock.
To get through the blockade, we could get through because we had a media pass. But if you show up with some woman, you had to get her through. And so we would give them T-shirts and hats and all kinds of stuff to bring women inside the compound.
Was Waco scary or just fun for you?
It was really a great time.
Before I got both legs out of the truck, the gunfire had erupted.
So I came home, true story, came home to Houston that night, went to Sam's boat on Richmond, got extremely intoxicated because it was the first night I was back. And the phone rang, and it was the station, and they said, the FBI just notified us they're going in. And I was like spinning drunk. So I had to go to the station. It was a windy morning, and I had to fly in the helicopter back to Waco to get there about 4:30 or 5.
Drunk the whole time?
I was so sick on the helicopter. I was like literally like laying, like my entire body was like this because I was so sick. If you look at my videos in Waco, which have been destroyed, I think, I sweated like broadcasting media.
Is that the one where you're in that black leather jacket or that black?
That's another sweating experience, okay? But I literally was like dripping. I was on the air live for like 5 hours straight because it was like breaking
The right. You were sobering up? Are you saying you were sobering up on the air?
I was sobering up on the air.
Or were you staying a little drunk with a little flask or something?
No, I don't think I was drunk anymore. I was sick. I was like literally sick to my stomach.
How annoying to you was it that they chose to raid the place when you were partying? Did people die?
Oh yeah, the whole,
Wait, you tell me.
The whole everybody there pretty much died. There was a few
How'd
people
they
that
die?
lived. Fire. And they
Gunfire or
No,
fire
I think
from
they-
God?
they shot at the FBI.
Oh yeah.
The FBI then goes in. A fire starts.
You're drunk.
I was not drunk. I was sick.
Oh.
There's a difference. And people you'd expect. Look, when fire like if fire broke out here on the I Don't Understand beautiful set, what would happen? We'd leave, right? So everybody expected the people to leave.
I'd go down with the set.
Really?
I'd stand here proudly lighting myself
Okay,
on fire.
so just for the record, I won't be here.
No, that's fair.
You'll have to carry on with that.
Do you think Koresh really believed he was the Messiah?
Yeah.
You could sense that he believed that.
Yeah.
So he was crazy?
Yeah. That what happened on the fire proved that David Koresh was crazy because he kept little kids in a fire so they could burn to death. So that was pretty easy. And the FBI briefings every day were even crazier. Because I'm telling you, the reporters that showed up the last day who weren't there for the whole thing were all saying, I can't believe they all died. I can't believe the FBI went in there with tanks. Those of us who had been there for 50 days, who had like lived our lives there for 50 days, seriously, we used to talk about asking the FBI agent in charge, if you guys won't kill him, let us do it, because we want to go home. The mistake that was made in Waco was they didn't get these guys when they were outside the compound in the first place.
Yeah.
They staged some big giant, let's go on a big bunch of trucks down a farm road. They stopped, the postal guy saw them and snitched off to David Koresh. That's why they were expecting them when they came. The dumb part was if you want to arrest David Koresh, wait for him to leave the compound and go get him. When we're doing surveillance on people, we'll often tell them that we're going to come in 20 minutes.
Yeah.
We're already there. Right, just to make them come.
Was he doing food runs? I mean, what was the deal? He was all stocked up with guns and weapons.
The guy were leaving the compound.
People were coming in and out?
They were seen in town all the time. So why don't you just get him when he's not in the compound?
Was there ever a proposed Trojan horse scenario where you would give them a big gift and sneak yourself and your friends in there?
About 40 days in, some dude got through this FBI blockade and into the cult place, okay? About a day later, they threw him out because he was too crazy for them. There was a bunch of people on an overpass that thought this was the end of time. And they'd sell shirts, and it was really cool. It became like a really cool thing.
Do you have any of those shirts still?
I had some. I had Klan shirts too.
Oh.
I went to a Klan training camp.
The training camp?
I went to the training camp with a friend of mine who was Jewish. And he said, and there were these guard dogs there. He said to me, do you think they know I'm Jewish? And I said, you look Jewish.
What's the most scared you've ever been?
I was scared a few times in hurricanes. I don't think I've ever been that scared.
So you've never been scared by a man? I don't understand the phrase, he can't have his cake and to eat it too. You can't have your cake and eat it too?
I like that expression.
What else am I gonna do with the cake? Take it to Nantucket on a date?
That's a really troubling question.
So what do I do?
I think you eat the cake.
But I can't have it too. And have it too?
Yeah, I think you can do both.
A lot of people don't like that though. Where does this confidence come from where you can walk into a room and ask a question and you're just not worried if anyone in that room is mad at you?
I sort of feed on hatred.
Did you just imply?
I don't want to talk to you, so you got to leave me alone. I'm going to charge you with harassment.
All right, you charge me with harassment, Chief. Go for it. Go for it, Chief. You want to charge me with harassment for asking you a question?
I don't want to answer you.
It's weird, but I can walk into like a government chamber, and I know that everybody on the dais, whatever it's called, don't like me, right? And probably hate me, right?
I like public officials who tell the truth.
The district attorney, Johnny Holmes, old guy, told me that if I was shot, there'd be 1,000 suspects.
Now, did that frighten you that he was so cavalier about your potential murder?
No, I think it was kind of a message that you were like causing some shit.
We have a saying downtown, if you die, everyone did it. That would concern me.
I was in a bar in the 80s, and a guy from across the bar sent me over 2 shots. And of course, I was a reporter, so I drank them. And then I went over to thank him. He was a little smaller than me. And he said, you don't know me, do you? And I said, no. He goes, you sent my mother and father to jail. And you know what I said? Are they having a good time? I figured I was going to get in a fight with the guy, so I might as well
He bought you 2 shots?
He did. He sent them over and I drank them.
And then he's like, and here are 2 other shots. Gun, bang, bang.
No, but I didn't think he was going to kill me. His parents were like insurance fraudsters. But I told him, I said, hey, dude, I don't send people to jail.
Yeah. Wayne, how often do people come up to you and they say like, hey man, you're doing a story about me, please stop it?
And people came up and said all kinds of things.
The creator of porcelain.
I've got a pained look on my face because I'm scared.
You know porcelain?
Yeah.
Is this guy happy with what we've done with his creation? He goes,
why would he not be?
Here's the good news. He comes to us with porcelain and we go, here's the good news. We love porcelain. Here's the rest of the news. We're mostly going to use it to shit and piss. I don't know if the inventor of porcelain lived a happy life if he was artistically fulfilled.
I think he made a lot of money. I have porcelain on my floor.
Do you find interest in other people?
Yes.
Do you find it easy to be fair?
No.
Are you often consumed by envy?
No.
Are you scientific in your thought?
I don't know.
Are you concerned by the impression you make?
Not at all.
I don't understand how to eat a Nature Valley granola bar. You try to eat these things?
You know what? I used to hate granola. Love it. I just started eating it just weeks ago. I love it. I love granola. I'm a granola freak. I always buy it now. It's true. I never ate it because I always thought it sucked, but I love it.
What's the deal with why it's so crumbs?
It's all crumbs. It's what it is.
I open it, it gets all over me. I'm embarrassed to walk in front of you.
Why?
Because there's so much crumbs on me. I don't know how to eat like a man. Define masculinity.
Not Sam?
You're supposed to say Sam Fickman.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Define masculinity.
Okay, ask me the question.
Define masculinity.
Sam Fickman.
That sounds, yeah.
If you enjoy fireworks, particularly in the courtroom, have we got a story for you?
What is something that have you lived with any case? Like, what's that case that like you're gonna be 80, you're gonna just wake up one day like and be like, still talking about it, like, where are the Purcell children at? You're gonna wake up, wander around, and you're like, Dad, you're not, where are you?
The first Sylvester story, which is available on YouTube, right? That he sued me over.
Now the gloves are off in this Texas courtroom.
When he first ran for mayor and we took him out 7 days before, and I'm glad we did. I do wish the guy who faked his death in that case, a guy faked his death.
Explain the case real quick.
Successful Harvard Law School grad, elected official, and what came after the devastating Channel 13 report.
What role did Houston mayoral candidate Sylvester Turner play in this tale of multi-million-dollar fraud?
Right. Yeah, wait. So Sylvester Turner, who was the mayor, and
No.
He was running.
He was running for mayor
in the 90s.
He was running for mayor. Got a divorce. He had a client who fell off a boat in Galveston Bay. Okay, just a few days after the Secret Service announced that we're going to arrest him. Okay, And weeks after filling out all these life insurance policies, right? That often happens, right? Young people do all these life insurance policies, hear the feds are coming to get them, and then they just happen to mysteriously fall off a boat, even though they had a fear of the water.
In my experience, young people don't understand insurance well enough to do that.
That's probably true. So Turner is the lawyer.
Yeah.
The guy that Turner was living with was the beneficiary of the guy's insurance policies.
Right.
Turner was the lawyer for everybody in the scam. There were two other guys in the boat that lied too.
Did he plead ignorance? I don't know about this.
What did Sylvester Turner know, and when did he know it?
He claimed he knew nothing about it.
It seems to me what Channel 13, Wayne Dolcefino, is saying in this report is that either Sylvester Turner was in on this, and therefore he's a crook, or if he didn't realize it was going on around him, then he's really naive and thick as a brick.
The essence of that report was that I was involved in the insurance conspiracy. They made the story just as juicy as they could make it.
So wait, this guy fakes his death, and how does he get uncovered as still alive?
Because I found out he was in a prison in Spain.
He fakes his death and then goes and gets arrested?
For cocaine.
Oh.
In Spain.
Although these workers claim they're innocent of the evil these plants can bring.
We don't know about that kind of medicine. We don't know how to use cocaine.
So it was a story that was hard to believe.
Sylvester Turner claims he fully cooperated with all the investigations into Foster's disappearance, but at least 3 investigators very close to this case tell us that's simply not true.
Excuse me, Mr. Dolcefino, listen to my question. As of December 1st, 1991,
But the guy that faked his death went on to become a pretty significant, actor in a bunch of shows.
And that is Bradley Cooper.
No, police shows.
Wait, who? Who? What are you talking about?
His name is Sylvester Foster.
Look him up. Oh, wait. Let's beep that. You know what? It'll be really exciting if we beep that. Because so people will be like, who did he say? And maybe it was Bradley Cooper. He said.
I want
Bradley Cooper
to tell the truth, and I know what the truth is because he's told me.
What is it?
The truth is that Sylvester was a guy that was the smartest guy in the room and planning it all.
And that's newsworthy, Mr. Franklin. It was newsworthy in 1991. It's newsworthy today. And if I had to do it over again, I would do it again.
That story is a story that needs to be proven up. I hope it will be in my lifetime.
And
But it's not. I don't lose sleep over Sylvester Turner. Today, the standards are so weak. I see networks all the time. Networks, CNN, even Fox, whatever, saying a source familiar with the conversations in a private room. They weren't in the room. Someone must have come out of the room and told the nurse to tell Bobby, to tell Sue, and they'll make that news. They'll say, a source familiar with the conversations. What does that mean? Was he part of it? If you're not part of the conversation, it shouldn't be reported at all because you have no way of verifying that it's even remotely true. The local media doesn't want to work that hard and is scared of getting sued. The national media is all narrative, right? You got the liberal channels and you got the conservative channels. You watch those two and you don't even know that you're in the same country now.
What is that about?
That they make money by being partisan.
Why are we so divided?
I think we have real fundamental differences.
Yeah, what's that about? I think it's about, what does that boil down to? And how can we fix them? Let's just fix them. Let's get them on the table. What are the differences? Easy, let's get them over.
We have differences about diversity.
Nah, we like everyone.
Yeah, we do.
That's the thing. See, it's not that hard. You say I like everyone, I say I like everyone. What's the difference?
You guys, and I put you in the category.
I'm agreeing with you.
No, but liberals think conservatives don't like black people and women or Hispanics and transgender. Most Republicans don't give two craps.
I believe that. I believe that y'all are tired of being told that you're racist.
And it's backfired on them.
And that's fine. Okay, you're not okay. So you're not racist.
Nobody's racist. No. What is racist? No, okay.
Look, I think they're racist. A lot of them.
Who?
Right?
Name one.
A lot of people.
What's an example of racism?
Well, the Klan is a racist.
Yeah, but I mean, they align with the political party at the top of the.
So what? So communists align with liberals. I mean, that doesn't make every Democrat. Like,
who's a communist that has threatened you in your life before?
I've never been threatened by a commie. You're bringing out that partisan in me.
Well, what's that deal? We've been afraid of communists this whole time because of McCarthy? I don't care about him and his little limo full of twinks.
He was a right-winger, man.
Roy Cohn.
Cared about getting all the Russians. Look, I think...
Would you call yourself the Roy Cohn of Houston?
I think there's a fundamental misunderstanding.
Are you a homosexual? I'm sorry, Wayne. What, are you mad or... What are you more right now? Mad or sad? Are you more mad or sad that you did this?
I'm amused by you. You're doing what the left-wing media does.
I'm not going to do that.
I'm a proud, libertarian conservative guy.
You want to go on record with that? Your politics?
No,
I've go on shows talk about it.
Oh, right. Do you want to go on record on a dumb show with that?
I'm getting sued for investigating some Republican county judge. Some things that are wrong are liberal things. Some things that are wrong are conservative things.
If you've got evidence of that, then me and you, during the next break, we'll call the district attorney.
Sorry,
no.
I'm not going to be none of, there's going to be none of you and me at the next break, period, Mr. Dolcefino.
I tell you what,
Now, do you understand? Yes, Sergeant, or no, Sergeant?
You know this thing where actors have to go to military training to, if they're going to play, an actor, if they're going to play a soldier in a movie, they send them to actual military training.
I think that's good.
Why? Does Ben Affleck need to do all that to pretend?
I think Ben Affleck does.
Ben Affleck and Josh Hartnett had to go through actual military training for the movie Pearl Harbor.
Oh, I love that movie.
I love that movie too.
They fought over that really pretty girl.
I know. You know, it turned out it wasn't a movie about the battle of the harbor as much as it was a battle over her heart.
Yeah, and the guy that probably wasn't the guy she loved the most got whacked.
He got killed. But he got her pregnant. So he lives on in that way.
Got her pregnant. She ended up with
the other guy. And he's like, wait, you're pregnant now with my friend's baby?
Isn't that weird?
Yeah, I don't know if I'm still in love with you anymore. Honestly, he's okay with that because his friend dies in Japan.
Because the guy was dead. The competition was gone.
Yeah, but he died a hero in Doolittle's Raid. We remember Josh Hartnett.
I remember that movie. It was a great movie, I thought.
I love that movie. Yeah. Ernest Hemingway, I don't understand.
Key West.
Have you read Ernest Hemingway?
No. I don't read.
I don't understand Ernest Hemingway. Not his books. I don't understand why he looks exactly like Kevin Smith. What time period, if you could live in any, would you live in?
I think the 20s were pretty interesting.
You know what? You think that, but then it's prohibition that whole decade. You don't remember all the time that the 20s you couldn't drink.
Weed's illegal. You can still find it everywhere.
Now, would you be busting people for drinking, though? If 1920s Wayne Dolcefino, he would, you wouldn't go to like the salon and be like, hey, hold on, fellas, and crank the thing, and then it's a salon. You
no,
would.
I would not. I would not have been. I just don't think.
Truth is worth fighting for, though.
Yeah, but the truth was that it was stupid.
It was.
I feel the same way about illegal weed. I think it's stupid for weed to be illegal. Half the states make it legal. People do it. Don't give it to kids. We don't get that, but we don't give liquor to kids. We don't give cigarettes to kids. So why do we give a crap about weed? I don't know.
Where are your 5 Charles Green Awards?
I don't know. I have a sense that if I fired you, this show probably wouldn't, pay the bills.
If you fired me, this show would not pay the bills. In fact, it would waste the bills, but at least I would get the message out there. Hey, men, it's cool to not understand things, right? Stand up and admit it. I don't know what that insurance lady earlier was talking about. What was she talking about? There was an interesting day for you to be here. I truly don't understand. I will disclose that, though. I've worked for you, with you, for you.
For me.
For 3 years, and they've been the best years of my life. And thank you for hiring me, and thank you for giving me a job, frankly. That's a very important thing for a man to have, is a job, and you're the reason I have one. We're going to play a little game. Time for a game show. It's called Who Done Did It with Wayne Dolcefino. Or Mystery Solved, but probably Who Done Did It with Wayne Dolcefino.
Theme song?
Who Done Did It with Wayne? No, there isn't a theme song. Thank God there isn't. Where we're going to go through a list of unsolved mysteries with Wayne Dolcefino, and he's going to tell us who he thinks done did it. JFK, who done did it?
CIA.
What do you mean the CIA did the Lincoln or the Kennedy one?
I think CIA did it.
Why? Because they were mad about Cuba? Everybody always says follow the money, and they say that whenever you make a video, they go, "You got to follow the money." You're like, "I am."
My big expression is the root of the tree. Always go to the root of the tree, and you'll figure out what the hell happened. The root of the tree, the beginning. Sometimes people get into a trail and they're at like 3 months in the trail. Go back to the beginning. See when the deal was done that created the fraud and the corruption. Go back to the root of the tree, my son.
That's good.
You don't understand, do you?
I do now. Do you think I could be an award-winning journalist now based on, I mean, pretty much, if I just...
With me.
No,
That was a
never.
great game show we had.
Did that end weirdly?
Ah.
No, but truthfully, you are an amazing boss, and it's amazing to work with you and to watch you do all this crazy shit you do. And it's cool to see that you still do it. Why do you still do it?
I'm going to do it till I croak. I want to do it till I croak. And I still like to fight. And I still think there's a lot of things that are really screwed up. And I think less people tell the hard truths now than used to, especially in local towns. If you think about it, the national media, the White House, all that sort of stuff. But in a local city, in the Houston area, who really does it anymore? Who does investigative journalism? Really? I mean, Amy Davis is good at Channel 2. There's some good people. I'm not.
Well, what's your advice for people who want to do it, who see you and they're like, you're pretty good. What do I say?
I think it's going to be really hard for people to develop audiences investigating political corruption and fraud and family courts and stuff like that. I think I was lucky to turn it into a business because I was on TV at a time when everybody was watching TV. And so my name ID was really big. Still is, but it's not like as big as it used to. Look, most people, if they're younger than 40, have no clue, right? But
What's wrong with everyone younger than 40?
because they have no clue who I am, and that's a mistake.
Wayne Dolcefino, you are an iconic Houston journalist, investigative reporter. What title do you like the most?
Asshole.
You're an iconic. I can't call you that. I would never call you that.
And I come from the All in the Family generation. Why can't we have a little sense of humor?
No, wait a minute, because what the teachers did in Idaho was racist.
You were able to transition from television to the internet.
I think people want to come to a company and say, I can't fight this, but you fight it for me. And that's what we do.
The day of TV is coming to an end. It's all going to be streaming stuff. Everybody's on their phones. Everybody's on their pads or whatever. Look, we basically investigate and then publicly expose things. That's what we do. So we investigate corruption, we investigate fraud, we investigate injustice, we do a lot of stuff in the courts. But injustice is a pretty broad term, every day. I mean, I had a bunch of African-American folks down in east part of Houston whose relatives owned property that later became like the big oil place, right? And they were hoodwinked to sell the property, or it was stolen from them, right? That's an injustice, right? And injustice comes in many forms. It comes in court cases. It comes in criminal cases. Some people are innocently charged.
What's the most shocking example of injustice you've seen? Something that shocked you? Whoa, people are capable of that?
I think it's more of sad things. I think the family court fights over kids are just so sad. They often last 10, 15 years from the times the kids were babies to the times they're like seniors in high school, and it screws them up.
Is it not about the kids? It's more about winning against the ex-spouse?
I don't want to be a psychological freak show because I think this generation is way too consumed by everybody thinks they're a psychiatrist now. But
why do you feel that way?
Because I talk to enough people that are younger. I understand now what old people used to tell me.
But didn't you think those old people were annoying?
Well, at a certain point.
Weren't you like, I'm sorry? I mean, look, I think you're right. I don't understand. I am dumb, but I admit it. I have a whole show about it. What's wrong with the generation? Yeah, we don't say it anymore.
Oh, I'm sorry.
This is your remaining chance to tell me about things you don't understand.
I don't understand a lot of things. I don't understand how to listen to music very good anymore. Sometimes I'll be listening to a song for years.
I don't know how to. If it's not on the radio,
Yeah.
I don't know how to listen.
But I literally don't know how to like hear music. Like sometimes I'll be listening to a song for years of my life, just like dancing around, being like, on a whole nother level, I'm gonna zone. And then one day you zone in on the lyrics, and you're like, what am I listening to? And you're like, William Zanzinger did what to Hattie Carroll?
Stared at the person who killed for no reason, who just happened to be feeling that way without warning. William Zanzinger with a 6-month sentence.
I don't understand why we waited so long to do this.
Wayne Dolcefino, 13 Undercover.